Cancelled.
Schweezy.
So it's time for us to scrape the bottom of the barrel once again as we go through Buzzfeed here. Today on Buzzfeed, I got... I thought this would be interesting because I was a child once. Someone would say I was a former child, if that made any sense. But this is 13 moments from kids' TV shows that made me super uncomfortable as a child. The 90s and 2000s were a unique time for TV shows aimed at adolescents. Preachy after-school specials with reach in their peak in the 80s were on a steady decline both in production and popularity, and the 2010 shows like Pretty Little Liars and Riverdale, which would offer young viewers pretty much zero semblance of reality, were a mere twinkle in some producers' eyes. But kids' TV shows from the 90s and 2000s were unprecedented, and they weren't afraid to go there. They contained surprisingly dark plot lines, dealt with some pretty serious issues, and of course included a lot of adult jokes. Obviously, this led to some stressful TV moments that were problematic, inappropriate for children, or involved a character, usually a kid, being put in an awkward or even dangerous situation. Moments that made me, a particularly nervous kid, super uncomfortable. So here are 13 of the most uncomfortable, awkward, problematic moments I remember from kids' TV shows. So I was a kid during this time. Let's see how much of this TV I remember, to be exact. Number 1, in Hannah Montana episode, He Ain't a Hottie, He's My Brother, Miley finds out that her best friend, Lily, and her older brother, Jackson, like each other. The age difference between the actors is massive. I'm starting to think about Lily that way. She's cute, she's smart, she's not a kid anymore. Okay, so... Jason Earls was like in his 30s, wasn't it? Like when these shows were on, and everyone else was like a normal teen at the time they're recording. So that was weird, but I would say though, like they're acting though. It is weird when you think about real life, but if you're thinking about TV and the ages they were playing, it's not that weird. Yeah, think about it that way, folks. Like, I'm giving Hannah Montana the benefit of the doubt here that this is not weird. This was just how a normal TV show would write things for normal teens and shit like that. So maybe that's weird. Maybe that's the weird part. Okay. In the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody episode Forever Plaid, the twins invite their friends over and charge them money to peep on a girls' soccer team through a hole in the wall. Jesus, I remember this episode now. I don't think I remembered it back then. Jeez, like through a hole in the wall. This was real. Just the fucking people, and I've also noticed too. In most rooms, these peepholes, they have to be pretty big for you to even fucking notice it. It's always wanted to know, like, Winslow from, Winslow from, Cat Dog. There's a hole in the ground for the mice to come in, like Tom and Jerry, there's like a hole in the ground. Like, wouldn't you, like, fix that up to make sure, like, if you figured out where mice were coming into your home and you just see a little door opening for them, wouldn't you close that up? That was always a plot hole that I had when I was a boy, when I was a child. But they had just those fucking peoples are more on this. The worst part is when Arwen, the adult hotel engineer, looks through the hole, unaware of what the other side. It was already messed up that the young boys were peeping, but the fact that Arwen looked and that the girls on the other side of the wall saw him was actually very. How did this get to television? Someone sat in a room and was like, you know what's really cool? What kids are into these days? Peepholes and walls. And also, and just to be honest, you should notice if there's a peephole in the room you should just, I don't know, I'm not a detective or anything, but if I saw just a hole in the wall, I would probably take a look inside the hole in the wall. If you saw light shining through or anything like that, you could even take a flashlight or whatever. We all have phones. I guess they didn't have phones like that back then, but we have phones now with flashlights on them. You should have noticed that. That's just... everyone's wrong in that situation for letting it happen. For letting it happen and letting people look into it. That's just wrong, okay? 3. A few years later, in the sweet life on deck, Zach and Cody suspect their teacher is a dancer in which a burlesque show. Zach comes up with a plan which involves dressing up their friends who are teenagers in showgirl costumes. What other plans you got? What are you talking about? It's a really great plan. A really great plan. Visibly uncomfortable. London is really into this. I don't see why you need me to wear a showgirl costume too. It's part of the plan. Don't question the plan. Yeah, I would say, I mean, they're not dressing like strippers, okay? Like, I guess it's showgirls. Isn't that like a whole different thing? If you're getting horny from like a showgirl show, like, I'm gonna tell you something. You know, your phone has internet. Go to Pornhub.com. Your anything you're thinking about's on there. Your entire anything, almost everything's on there except for like illegal shit. That stuff's not on there. Hopefully, probably they're probably just something I don't want to look at. I'm not looking into it. But anyways, though, no, I don't see this as that much of a problem. Obviously, they're pretty a little uncomfortable, but like at the same time, like that was the plan. Like they're trying to figure this out. Like, Zach Cody gonna dress up like showgirls? I'm like, that's gonna be obvious immediately. And the teacher's just a showgirl dancer. It's just making some extra money. Don't be stingy. Don't be weird about it. Okay, don't be weird. In the That's So Raven episode, He's Got the Power, after Eddie temporarily gains psychic powers, he unknowingly predicts the winner of a horse race for an older kid, Sonny. When Sonny gives Eddie his cut of the prize money and shakes him down for the next winner, Eddie, now powerless, makes a total guess. I mean, that's just an unfortunate circumstance right there. Like, it's like, I lost my powers. Look, just be easy, okay? After it turns out Eddie's guess was wrong, Sonny covers him in an empty restaurant and threatens him. Raven and Chelsea come to his rescue, but it's still such a tense scene for a kid to watch. It always gave me extreme anxiety. Yeah, I could see how it could be a fucking problem. My real thought on the matter of hand is, you know, like, look, I don't have that anymore. I don't think we should do this anymore. We got our good ones. We should just take our winnings and leave and shit like that. I mean, if you had psychic powers, yeah, you definitely want to just get some money, like live off that shit. Like that's how you should live. And then follow your passions. Follow your art, your art career. Become a famous singer. That's what we're doing. I could see that, man, a little extreme. Extreme. In a later episode, His House Party, Raven and Corey throw a party, and their reverend shows up. It's a kid show. They're not drinking. Unless they are drinking, let me see. While their parents are out of town, Raven and Corey throw a massive rager, which includes mechanical bull rides. The family reverend enters just as Raven is taking her turn on the bull. Growing up, I saw riding mechanical bull as being something very sexual and very adult. It was one thing to see the teenagers and That's So Raven riding it, but when you add the reverend into the mix, the discomfort I felt was palpable. Who the fuck do people think riding a bull is sexual? It's never been a sexual thing. I don't know. I went to a rodeo when I was like in 3rd grade, and bull riding was not sexual. If you actually saw real bull riding, that shit is not sexual at all. You could easily get the shit knocked out of you by a bull. That's why they have rodeo clowns to try and distract the bull, so the person who's possibly injured can get to safety while these clowns or whatever just kind of goof around and shit like that. But no, I've never saw, even like at bars that have it. I've never seen it's like it just kicks you, throws you across the bar, and you get thrown off. That's never. I don't get it. Who's getting turned on by fucking bull riding? Go to Pornhub.com if that's the problem. Go to Pornhub.com if you get turned on by fucking bull rides. Fuck, dude. In the Drake and Josh episode, The Affair, Drake overhears his dad on the phone and assumes he's having an affair. It's just that, well, I have a family to think about. Look, I'm not saying no. Are you kidding? It's all I've been thinking about. The show usually treats the dad like he's a complete buffoon, so the fact that he even had this storyline was definitely strange. Of course, it's all a misunderstanding in the end, but we don't find out until Drake and Josh do, with just 3 minutes left in the episode. There are pretty problematic moments throughout the whole thing, and one part near the end where Drake and Josh tell their dad not to worry because they won't tell their mom about the affair as they got his back. Yeah, that was the whole kind of joke. And don't look into Dan Schneider shows, people. You're gonna find like this guy was into Feet. How am I not into Feet? These were my favorite shows as growing up. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think this episode was that bad. There was a lot of other problematic episodes of Drake and Josh. A lot. Yeah, there's Drake and Josh was a very problematic show, and honestly, that was kind of the funny part of Drake and Josh is how problematic it was, and stuff like that. I still wish. I know this will never happen. I know, and Drake Bell's not in a. No one's really wanting to hire him right now for anything, but I really want them to reboot Drake and Josh. But it's like how they live their lives now. Like Josh is just like a YouTube personality, and he's a genius. And I guess put some science thing in there for him. Drake is like a washed up musician and a child predator, or child endangerer. Because everyone's like, "Are you calling me a child endangerer? Well, I ain't calling you a child ensafer." I just want them to reboot it now, but put Drake's also a pedophile too. I think that'd be funny. Apparently, no one else thinks that's funny. Only I think that's funny. So apparently, some people don't have senses of humor, and they're not me. So sorry, people, you're not funny like me. In the next season of Drake and Josh, in the episode I Love Sushi, after the boys find out that they won a contest, Drake celebrates by kissing a random stranger because he just has to. I gotta kiss someone, a complete stranger. A lot of stuff Drake did made me uncomfortable, but when I saw this scene as a younger teen, I was thinking, God, I hope this doesn't happen to me. See, I'm not making assumptions. I'm not making assumptions though, but obviously, don't be kissing random strangers, fellas. Fellas, don't be kissing random strangers. But the part of the joke that is Drake on that show is that every woman wants him. Like, that's the joke. Every woman wants him. So the fact that, like, he goes up and kisses a random stranger, the idea was supposed to be that, like, any woman would want that to happen to him. That's kind of the joke with this. So I know what the right thing to do is to not do that. But that was kind of the joke on the show. And I like how this was like a moment that stood out to someone. Because like the obvious joke is like every woman wants Drake. And so, it's like, I don't know. It's like if a woman finds a guy attractive, you're like, please don't check me out. Please don't look at me. Please don't look at me. And then when like like an ugly guy, it's like, please look at me. Or a good looking guy is like, please look at me. Please look at me. Stuff like that. So I get it. But anyways. Oh, number 8, in the Full House episode Star Search, Joey performs stand-up on a TV competition show as his last chance of making it as a comedian, and loses. I should preface this by saying, as a kid, I would get secondhand embarrassment from Joey's jokes, so this episode in particular was incredibly hard for me to watch. That fact that Joey planning to perform his comedy in front of other people instead of just his family, stressful since they all know he's not funny. Okay, that episode is just kind of sad over everything. They're like, we still love you, Joey. He was a radio host, and in Fuller House, things turned out for him. Things for him were okay. Things turned out okay for him, so I don't think y'all should be complaining that much about that. That's not one you should complain about. In the episode Babe Raider of Life with Derek, Casey decided to do her media project on sexist video games, but then in an attempt to get a boy's attention, ends up dressing like the character in the video game. I don't remember this show. Live with Derek. Why am I not remembering this show? But anyways, though, yeah, I could see the project about like they don't really make games anymore that they don't make those kinds of games anymore, which is kind of funny. I was like, even back then, fucking Laura Croft triangle boobs, like that was the whole thing. So looking back now, I played Cyberpunk on stream once, and it was like just a fucking naked chick lying there, and I was like, God, I am going to lose my Twitch account. Twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. Connect your Twitch Prime. Get your Twitch Prime. Help support us. Do that. Be cool. Don't be stingy. So anyways, though, yeah, I could see that, but back then it was like pointy boobs. In Rugrats, naked Tommy convinces the other babies to free themselves by taking their clothes off. See, here's the thing, though. Like, a kid who would be able to understand this would have to be older than, like, maybe 6, maybe? 6+ years older to really kind of grasp what's going on, and then be like, oh, those are little babies. They don't know any better. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing with Rugrats. It's always like, oh, they're babies. It's funny. You know, it's just, I remember seeing babies do that. Like, your parents have other friends with babies. Like, yeah, babies do that. And that's what I'd be thinking here on that. So, yeah, this isn't as weird. Well, could I ask you a question? Oh, God. That's like for the adults watching, okay? I don't know why people are cringing at this shit. That's just kind of funny, okay? Don't be cringing at funny shit. No, SpongeBob. Whoa, this one's... in the SpongeBob episode Karate Choppers, Mr. Crab bans SpongeBob from practicing karate because it's interfering with his work. SpongeBob and Sandy try their hardest to not do karate, but it backfires, and they release their frustration in huge karate tussles. Just SpongeBob, maybe just one more. Sandy in the park at karate-free picnic. Was this supposed to be... Ocean bouncing while they're mid-fight while mirrors are moving head... I never noticed that was a sex metaphor before. Huh. I've seen that episode like 1,000 times. Never really... But it was like... SpongeBob was having sex at work? I get the joke between like him and Sandy, you know. He's like, SpongeBob, you're gonna take your mind off things. Thinking having too much sex at work. Most jobs you'd be fired, but like, you can't be having sex at work, buddy. And then okay, I guess I never saw that this was like a sex thing before. Okay, you know, things about my childhood are reopening. And I think we're on the last. No, there's 13. In Mugged from Hey Arnold, after Arnold gets mugged, his grandmother teaches him karate. In front of himself, he takes it a little too far and beats up the innocent guy. Just trying to ask you where the bus stop. Oh my God. I feel, the money itself was hard to watch, man. When the poor guy just wants to know where the bus stop. Arnold beats him up so bad that his clothes just fall off, and then the guy starts crying. Oh, that's so hard. Oh, that's so hard to think about. Just like, guy's clothes, well, he's just a nice guy. He's like, I just want to know where the bus stop. And Arnold just fucking has PTSD from getting robbed, and so. How did that episode end? Did he make it up to that guy? Did they make it up to him? Oh, that's cringy. The final one. Oh, I don't want to think about that anymore. In the Home Improvement episode A Night to Dismember, after Tim and Jill sneak a peek at Mark's unfinished horror movie, they become convinced that Mark wants to murder them. You think I want to kill you? It's just a movie. The last couple of months, you've been really quiet and withdrawn. Maybe that's just how I am. Oh, jeez. I didn't watch a lot of Home Improvement in the latest season. Mark starts stressing goth. Parents don't exactly... Oh, yeah, this was back when Columbine was a thing. So anyone who kind of like dressed like those guys were like... That was pretty rough. That was a pretty rough time to be goth. Then we all became emo. So, because our parents wouldn't let us be goth. That's how that worked. Anyone wants to know a history lesson why I was emo, not goth. And also, I think Robot Chicken had a joke. It was like a Teen Titans with Beavis and Butthead, and Beavis, or Butthead, no. It was Butthead. He was like, you're just mad because goth music sucks. And I was like, agreed. Anyways, though, I think that's it. And they want me to leave a comment. Dude, the Hey Arnold one, oh, man, you just feel so bad. It's like, oh, man. Dude, Hey Arnold had some fucking rough ones. Like, this all could have been just Hey Arnold. It was like, Helga's mom was addicted to smoothies, booze, abusive family relationship, Arnold's parents being dead, his grandpa basically being a reanimated corpse, shit like that. Hey Arnold could have just been it. Cool theme song though. Had a cool theme song. So, yeah. Hey there, you just checked out a highlight from Cancel Schweezy. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you learned something and that you are now a smarter individual. Just so you know, we have full episodes and other many highlights available now. Click here for the next best thing that you can go check out as well, and make sure you press that subscribe button and press that notification bell. That way you get updated anytime we make a new post or anytime that we make a new highlight or full episode. So thank you, honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome.